Welcome back to ciLiving. I'm your host, Jaclyn Friedlander. If you have a paper plate and construction paper, as well as some markers, you can make this craft at home right along with us. Julia Benzel from the Miller Park Zoo is here today with a toucan craft that is fun and easy to do. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, so we today are going to be making this.
Yes.
And where do we even begin, Julia?
This is a keel-billed toucan, and we are going to make him out of a paper plate and little pieces of construction paper, and it's going to be paper mache-esque. So we're going to have a lot of fun gluing this together.
All right, perfect. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dump out this cup of, I spilled some of it, but I'm going to dump out this awesome cup here of the confetti paper.
Yeah,
so,
all of our feathers.
All right, here we go. Ready? Let's get all of our feather pieces ready to go. All right, so you kind of cut the construction paper into these little squares. Yeah. And then we have our paper plates, so now what?
So we had our paper plates, you saw it to begin with, and then I just eyeball what I know a tail looks like to make our toucan.
Tail.
Yeah, so I went in and I said, that looks like a tail to me, and I traced it and then gave him a little head, and on yours I actually cut that ahead of time. So you have your beak here and your head here, and then your tail comes right out of under your beak.
Right, okay, so it's all right there, perfect.
Perfect, so I'll work on cutting that out. What you're gonna do is you're gonna start gluing and designing your toucan.
Okay.
So this is the toucan I made. If you are feeling a different toucan, you can make whatever toucan you want.
Okay, and if you don't have time to cut the pieces or don't have the glue, you can always do markers,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Much quicker, and you're going to be cleaner if you use the markers.
You're going to be cleaner.
For sure you're going to be
Especially because they're washable. And while we are cutting and gluing our toucan, I want to know, so this is a very specific kind of toucan, right? This is a keel-billed toucan.
Yes.
So not to be confused with
a Toco toucan or any of our toucanettes.
Okay.
These are a large species of toucan. They are living in Central, South America. They're actually the national bird of Belize.
Ooh.
And they are characterized by this long, colorful beak. They have the rainbow beak. So they actually have this beak that changes colors with their health, and as they get older, it will change color. But it's characterized by being that bright rainbow color. And then they have the yellow face and chest and the green eye pop. They're beautiful birds. We actually see them. I take kids from my junior zookeeper program every other year to Costa Rica. I take 12 of them that apply to go, and we see these eating breakfast in front of us.
That's amazing. So what do they eat? What is it that they're having for breakfast while you're observing them?
Yeah, so they're having fruit for breakfast. That's most of their diet. Over 80% of their diet is actually made up of fruit. They do eat other things like invertebrates or small vertebrates. They're opportunistic omnivores, but most of what you find in Costa Rica is fruit, and it's the best fruit I've ever had, if I'm being honest.
Really, what's your favorite fruit that you've had?
I will only eat passion fruit over there.
Interesting.
Once you come back here, it doesn't taste the same.
Right.
But their bananas are good. Their pineapples are to die for.
Delicious, yes.
So these guys, the way they eat is they take, like tweezer style, they take their beak and they grab the fruit and then they throw it back into their throats. So the whole middle of their beak doesn't even touch the fruit.
Oh, interesting. So it's not like a bird that's kind of chomping down. It's ultimately, they kind of tweezer it and then, interesting.
It's so long so they can probe it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they do something that's really interesting when it comes to nesting, right? They kind of roost or sleep all in a little group.
They do. They're communal roosters. These are social birds. So they're living in groups of like 22 individuals. Okay. And at night, they're all roosting together with their heads over each other, their backs, and they're all making one toucan pile together in the trees.
Interesting. And then when they decide to mate, how many eggs do they lay? How do, you know, all of those fun facts.
They lay like 2 to 4 glossy eggs, and they sit on them, and they actually only take about 14 to 20 days to hatch. So they're not incubating them for very long, and then they're able to start rearing them. And as social birds, they're going to live in a group together.
Right.
They live to be about 20 years old. So
interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so they do kind of have a long lifespan. So yesterday you had brought an owl, and their lifespan in the wild is much less. What do you think accounts for that? Because I know that toucans are threatened when it comes to like from a conservation standpoint.
Right.
But it seems like owls with a shorter lifespan would probably have issues too.
They would. I'm thinking that it has to do with where they live. So not only do they both have predators, but owls are probably living less time partially because winters are so harsh here. They don't have to worry about that. So they really don't have to migrate. They don't have to hunker down for cold times. So they're living a lot longer, almost doubling those owls that we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah. And then we're kind of making feathers here out of the paper rather than just coloring. What are their feathers kind of like when you see them in real life?
So they don't look like feathers because you're not right up close to them, right? They're easily 20 feet away from you, if not more at any given time. And they look just glossy. It's all one. You don't see the little feathers until they're like grooming themselves.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So then they have those grooming behaviors, like they have the interesting feeding behaviors, and they have the interesting roosting behaviors.
Yeah.
Well, there is no way I'm going to be able to finish my toucan, but I am going to hold up the toucan that you made. This took about, what, like 45 minutes? To an hour, something like that for you to make. So I think if you want to just color, it'll go much quicker. But if you want to actually take the time and make the gorgeous feathers, you can do that. Well, Julia, thank you so much for all of this toucan information and for showing us this craft with a paper plate and construction paper. Absolutely.
It's something we love doing at the zoo with our kiddos.
Wonderful. Well, to learn more about the zoo, you can visit us on the web at ciLiving.tv, and we will be back in just a few minutes.